Hello, Miss Hello family. Una kushe kabo. As I be tell una yesterday say, Sorie Sengbe Marrah in Wara-Seray, they be pull notice say them forget press conference. Well, they be don't get the press conference yesterday. Say one of the things we come on at the press conference. They say number one, they want make the only election back because they no fit say the election be go on or things that be happening at the election we right. Then number two, they say they no recognize the member the way the current administration don't appoint for big board now the Sierra Leone Bar Association. They say they don't recognize it, so they want fresh election so that they will get a right. So now this una go carry you from the press conference waiting the two joint where they come together, where they make you go hear you from them, watch the video, share, subscribe, and always follow me so that you will get things that will happen back home. Thank you and see you in the next video.
You're going to have to pardon me some. I've lost my voice. I think the Bar Association conference both literally it seems and figuratively stole my voice from that day. But I will not stop speaking because it's not in my spirit to do that. This is a joint statement by Augustine and myself condemning the events of the annual general meeting of the association in Canada on May 18th. The events at the AGM of the Sorie Association represented a grave assault on the principles of democracy, transparency, integrity that this association was founded upon. The actions and inactions of the board of directors at the AGM, which have led to a declaration of a purported executive that was not duly elected, are not only illegal, but they're also deeply troubling. I will repeat that. It is a purported executive. They were not duly elected, and they are not Before the date of the AGM, we made concerted efforts to enhance the integrity, the transparency, and the accountability of the electoral process. Our actions included 1. Court applications. Solicitors for Julian Cole, Wara-Seray and Joy Precious Bio filed applications in court aimed at greater participation of members. These applications saw voting by proxy, early publication and verification of the voters' list, among other things. The court refused all of those applications. The second is we raised security concerns through 2 letters addressed to the Inspector General of Police. We requested a meeting with the Sierra Leone Police to discuss and address security concerns ahead of the conference. Those requests fell on deaf ears. The meeting were not granted. Proposed meetings. We, Augustine, Marrah, and myself, through letters addressed to the outgoing president of the bar, Ms. Swallow, proposed a meeting with the directors of the association. The purpose was to discuss and outline a clear pathway for the electoral process. The president said she was too busy and she declined to meet with us. These events confirmed that what occurred at the AGM in Canada was enabled by the association's directors, and the role played by the Sierra Leone police and the court did not help the situation. As you can tell, my voice is very low, so Mr. Marrah is going to take it from here.
Thank you, Ms. Sayyid-Kamal, and good afternoon, the Fourth Estate. Good afternoon, colleagues. Permit me to stand on the days of the protocols that have been established. And permit me equally to run you through some of those horrendous accounts of some of the things that were unleashed upon us. With your permission, may I continue. It is with great disappointment that we are blessed to seize of undemocratic maneuvers orchestrated by the association's directors and their enablers in Kenya. These include the blatant disregard for the electoral process and the disenfranchisement of members, which are clear violations of the Memorandum and Articles of Association of the Sengbe Association, the Companies Act 2009 as amended, and ethical principles of decency and integrity. 1. Manipulation of voter lists. It was evident from the outset that the integrity of the voter list was compromised. Members who were duly paid their dues found their names omitted from the list, an issue that was raised by some members yet was not addressed by directors. 2. Unlawful agenda changes. The amendment of the agenda to commence voting prematurely at exactly 12 p.m. when in fact the time slated for registration and arrival of members was 12 to 1 p.m. was a calculated move to disenfranchise colleagues who were traveling from Borough town and whose movements had been largely blocked by the stop on the Borough-Kenya highway. Imposition of a returning officer. The purported appointment of Francis Ben Kaifala, very significant, the Commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commission as the returning officer, despite objection to his nomination on the grounds of conflict of interest, the omission to put the other nomination of Julius Kofi, including Mr. Kaifala, to be voted by the members, and the refusal to allow the usual practice of appointing 3 senior members of the bar present in the hall to assist the returning officer, which would have ensured a fair process, is unacceptable. The act of Francis Ben Kaifala, the ACC boss, and you can put an exclamation point there, the ACC boss, purportedly acting as electoral commissioner, undermine the very democratic processes we seek to uphold. 4. Sham electoral process. The purported elections presided over by Francis Ben Kaifala was conducted without recourse to any verified voter list in a hall shut down by security personnel on instructions of Mr. Francis Ben Kaifala. After security personnel had dispersed with pepper spray and tear gas, a majority of the members were present. That only a handful of members, including other unidentified persons who were in support of Tumajabi and who mostly wore blue wristbands, were allowed to vote. At some point I questioned what God cannot do, just take his ruler. At some point. That only a handful of members, including other unidentified persons who were in support of Tumajabi and who mostly wore blue wristbands, were allowed to vote. Other fully paid up members were denied ballot papers, while those with the blue wristbands received multiple ballots. The handful of voters for Tumajabi, that's an interesting point, under the watchful eyes of Francis Ben Kaifala, were able to mysteriously generate amongst them a total of 560 votes for Tumajabi in the purported election for president of the Bar Association. We also agree, handful of people who, using the skills of Harry Potter, magically came up with 560 votes. In view of the events narrated above, which are an affront to the values of integrity, accountability, and democracy, we, Augustine Sorie, Sengbe, Marrah, and Wara-Seray and the numerous agreed members of the Sierra Bar Association take the following positions.
One, that the executive purportedly selected at the AGM in Kenema does not represent the will of paid-up members of the CLA Association. Do not recognize them as duly elected. Position number 2. We shall explore all legal means to ensure that an election of directors of the association consistent with democratic standards is held as soon as possible. So most colleagues were not asking for fresh elections because no election was conducted.